I am
It is a
unpleasable.
fully autonomous taxi.
It was
that got
cool.
us from A to B.
Yeah, yeah.
No wrecks in the
Yeah.
middle of Vegas.
There has not been an EV I'm more impressed with than that system. It's gonna take over.
All right, so I ran into Josh and Jesse here at the Zoox stop. They just got off their ride.
I never felt like it was not in control of the vehicle.
I like it.
Gonna be,
It's a fully autonomous
Now here's
vehicle
the
on
thing.
the freaking road.
Because Bezos is a mean girl.
he's a mean girl.
Let's go have a steak.
We've been in the Robotaxi and we've certainly heard about R2 and the autonomy coming from NVIDIA and their partners at Mercedes and BMW, but this is going to be our first time riding in a Zoox. We're here at Resorts World and we have ordered up one of these awesome, unique rides. Let's take a look now at the service area available for Las Vegas. Among the options other than Resorts World are Fontainebleau, Area 15, Convention Center, Wynn, Fashion Show Mall, the Bellagio, Top Golf, MGM Grand, Excalibur, Luxor, Mandalay Bay, New York, and Aria, with more to come. So we've selected the Bellagio. Now that we've selected where it is we want to go, there's a payment method. Currently, all the rides are free. Now that we've selected our Apple payment, which is currently 0, we can even select a theme. This one right now has just kind of a pinkish hue to it, but we've selected orange for our ride. So when our ride arrives, it will be orange, just like the Chempower hat that we have on now from the event that we just did. It will tell us the license plate number for our vehicle. This one isn't quite it, but it will arrive in the next 30 minutes. Once it does, we'll get into ours, and then we're gonna let you guys come along for the ride. All right, guys, so this is us, 9F3. So join us as Bowe Family EV opens the door to the future. Come along on our very first Zoox ride. Let's get started. First thing we're going to do is we are going to buckle up on the bottom of the touchscreen. So you can see right here, closed door. Let's press that. There we go.
To start your ride, press the Start Ride button in the center of the touchscreen.
Okay, to start the ride, we just press this button. Says we're going to arrive
Hope
in...
you enjoy your ride. If you need help, you can use the Help menu on the touchscreen.
Okay, we're on our way. There's also a wireless charging app down here for my phone. Not sure how well you'll be able to see much because it is nighttime. Let's talk a little bit about the Zoox. So down here on the touchscreen, you do have music control, you do have climate control. You can adjust whether you want it warmer or colder. There is room for 4 passengers. There are currently 2 empty seats in front of me, and then on my side, I've got my bag here, and then I've got myself here. As we look up, you can see there's like a panoramic skylight right above. You don't really get much of a view out of the front window. There's like this mesh screen there, and if I look behind me, you can kind of get that same mesh screen view. I wish that wasn't there because it really blocks what's going on out the front or back window. And I gotta say that takes away from a bit of the experience. You do have these side windows here on the left and the right that you can look through, but there's so much going on in front of you that it would be really great if you had the ability from either side to kind of see what was going on. If the people in front of me could look behind me and see what was going on back there, and then of course if I could look forward and see what was going on through there. There is of course so many things in terms of lights and just huge buildings and incredible over-the-top views. So it would be really great if I could just look ahead and see what was going on. So as we come up to the Bellagio here, I've switched sides so that I can let you kind of see outside the window a bit from the side of the vehicle. And I don't know, maybe it'll be a little bit more interesting to kind of see it this way. But a little bit about Zoox. They were acquired by Amazon. And like I said, there is no front or back. This can go either direction. The cabin layout, like we said, has 2 seats, 1 facing each direction, so 2 people will be sitting backwards. And the interesting thing is that it's a very safe vehicle. It does have lane positioning. The braking seems a little bit abrupt sometimes, I'll say. It could be a bit smoother, I would say. The turning seemed fine. It's looking out for pedestrians. It's trying to be safe in how it merges. It's been fine with the turns. Right now, the way it's operating is a combination of LiDAR, cameras, and radar. And so that's how it's getting around right now. The suspension seems fine. The cabin noise is great. It hasn't been too noisy or loud. I'm not having any issues with motion sickness, really. Maybe if some people don't like to sit backwards, like I know my wife doesn't, that would be something you want to consider and think about. Visibility, really, I think would be a big thing for me. I don't like that you can't really see well in front of you. That would be my big thing I would want to change. I would say another thing is there was really no space for luggage. That would be a big drawback to me. My bag right now is sitting on the seat basically across from me, and there's no real place if we were coming from an airport or going from place to place to put our luggage or bags or anything like that. I do think that's a bit of a drawback. So I don't know. It's an interesting thing if I'm just going from hotel to hotel or place to place and I don't have anything with me. But that would be the first thing that really stood out to me, I think. There have been a couple people that kind of stepped off from the sidewalk, and it kind of, again, gave that abrupt braking. So I don't know that that's a bad thing necessarily, but it's a little bit tough. You can't really see your speed limit. So when you're looking on the screen, and I'll show you that right now, all you really see is your estimated time to arrival, and you don't see a map necessarily of where you're going. You can see a map on your phone, so there's that. Obviously, there's no steering wheel or pedals or anything like that. And I could definitely see this being a future mode of transportation, especially in a city like New York or Vegas, where there's huge crowds and they're really just trying to jump into something and get to another place. It is absolutely geo-fenced, so it's not something where you have unlimited capability. You're definitely within a restricted zone and even in restricted stopping areas. So it's more like a bus than it is like a taxi where you can tell it, I want to go to this stop or this address. So it's very much like a combination, a hybrid of a bus system and a, robo-taxi combined. As we look out the window, there is another fellow Zooxer. And again, just with all the different pillars, you see there's just no real great view, to be honest with you. And in a city like Vegas, it's kind of a shame. As we zoom out here, you can see we've just got, pillar, just obstruction. Everything in here is an obstructed view. That, I think, is my big takeaway. There could be so much better of an experience if I didn't have a net. And even if I take and kind of look up here at the glass, let's look at that real quick. You can see, again, just obstruction here, right? In the middle of the glass, there's an obstruction. And then as I kind of come down, again, obstruction. I mean, I've seen buses where this center door pillar isn't nearly that thick. And maybe there are safety requirements and crash zones and different reasons that it needs to be that way. But, here I've got, when I'm looking out this window, I want to see how cool that Zoox is out there. And look, there's just pillar after pillar stopping me from the cool view. And then I want to see the cool view behind me, but I just can't. And I want to see the cool view above me, right? Look at that. There's the Cosmo is right there. And you can't really see it. And then I want to see, if I'm the person sitting across from me, and I want to see what's going on here, if I want to let you guys see it, right? You can't really get a good view. And that's a shame, because when you're in a city like Vegas, or again, if you were in New York, or even they're going to start test rides for San Francisco, when you're going through San Francisco and you want to look up at the Transamerica building, and everywhere you go is a pillar of obstructed vision, that's just going to be a bummer, right? We're about 5 minutes away from the Bellagio, and on the app, it will show you where the drop-off point is, and it will allow you to follow along and see your progress, which is really nice. I do like that feature. I do think it should be on the screen as well. I think that would be a nice added touch along with the speed that you're going. I'll point out that if there was an emergency for some reason, right up here, lit up, there is an emergency button. We could just press that. All right, we are coming up to the Bellagio and the fountains. It does on the screen say we are now arriving soon, so we're just going to go to our drop-off spot. Not sure how well this is showing up on camera, but we'll do our best to let you check that out. On the screen in both the Zoox and in the app, it says finding the best place to stop.
Use the touchscreen to open the doors. Need help? Call Zoox support with the help menu.
Okay, so it tells me to open the doors at the bottom of the screen. It also shows me that we've arrived on the app. So we're going to grab our stuff and we will be done. So let's press that button. And the door is open.
We'll close the doors after you exit.
That is it for the ride. Thanks for joining us. So what do you think, guys? Are you ready to replace your Uber or Lyft with a Zoox? Leave your thoughts below in the comments. Be sure to hype this up if you've seen it on mobile. That's going to help my channel grow and let this video be seen by others. And be sure to check out my other videos from this trip, as well as the stuff that I do on Bowe Family EV. All of that interaction helps my little channel grow, and we'll see you on the next one.